Hello and welcome to this week's edition of Todd's Tips. Dad usually comes up with something that he does for his small business, voiceover-centered tips and tricks. I don't know if they're really tricks, but
Sometimes.
anyways, that's where we'll start right here. So what you do is get into some tips.
I have been maybe for the last couple, 3 months talking about do's and don'ts, things that I do and don't do. These aren't things that you necessarily have to do or not do, but they are things that you should at least think about because they work, or when they're don'ts, they don't work, or I haven't found them to work, or I don't do them, or we should be careful. But as we always do, Demond, our audio-visual producer, always puts these caveats here so that you recognize that this is me talking about my business. And even though there are lots of principles that apply, you have to apply what works for you. And so that's why those caveats. So here's the next one, and it is a don't. And it's kind of sounds negative, but it's not. I don't ever tire of encouraging people about direct email marketing. I don't ever get tired of that. I know direct email marketing works. I know it does. It works for me. It works for other people. And I could go over my numbers from 2016 when I hired my direct email marketing assistant, Andy, but I won't because that'll just bore you. But if you want those numbers, I can provide those for you because I keep very careful track of them. One of the reasons I do is because there's a lot of people that don't believe in direct email marketing or don't think it works. And so I keep those tabs on those very carefully. And over the last 7 years, it's always been over $100,000 or more. It's usually closer to $200,000 in direct email marketing income. And so I know it works, and I don't mind helping other VO talent to be persistent, to be patient, and to persevere because I know it will pay off. And those are the things we always talk about when we talk about direct email marketing for myself, for you, and for VO Marketing Pro, the company that my sons own and run, but also we have between 40 and 45 clients that we do direct email marketing for. And so I don't ever get tired of helping people stay encouraged. I get the fact that it can be a bit discouraging sometimes. I get that immediate results are what lots of VO coaches and platforms promise, while direct email marketing promises none of that. We always talk about being a long haul and a numbers game, and you can't be in it for just a few months. It really takes years. Some people get some decent responses and auditions and even jobs in the first month or a few months or half a year. But typically it takes literally a long haul mentality for it to pay off. And so we don't promise a get rich quick. I get that using our fishing analogy. Sometimes you fish and fish and fish and fish and fish, and you go home empty-handed. You've had that
I have
happen,
done that
I
before.
know, because you're a fisherman. And so sometimes you're in the right spot, you got the right bait, it's the right conditions, but you don't catch any fish. What do? You go back and you fish more, especially, now you don't do this, you don't feed your family or even feed yourself or, try to get trophy fish, but you do like to catch fish. I mean, that's kind of why you go out there pretty much, right?
It's enjoyable. You get to be outside and
Yeah.
feel the tugging on the other end of the line. That's always fun. So anyway, that's
And so
why I do it.
That's why we use that analogy because, sometimes you'll get a nibble or a tug and you say, ooh, an audition or a warm response. It's not a fish. You haven't caught one, a job that is, but those are fun. But sometimes those don't even happen. Sometimes you come home empty-handed. You don't even get a nibble. And I get that direct email marketing takes discipline and organization, just like everything that's worth going after. I get that it's not glamorous, maybe not even fun. Direct email marketing is not
Flashy.
It's romanticized sometimes, especially for people that make a lot of money, but they don't realize the years and years of blood, sweat, and tears to get in front of people, stay in front of people, sometimes 10, 15, 20 times over a period of several years. And so all of that's true. I get that. I do get it. But it works. And if done right over and over and over again, it pays off. And so I don't tire of encouraging people to do direct email marketing.
Yeah,
I just don't.
and once again, those are all things that all these tips and do's and don'ts and whatever you bring to Todd's tips are things that you are teaching me to do. And so once again, I don't maybe say a whole lot during these things because in my opinion, I don't have a whole lot to add. I'm just over a year and a half into my voiceover career, and I'm still learning a lot about it. And I just don't think it's smart for me to say a whole lot because I don't have 13 years of experience. I don't even have 2 years of experience. So for me to go out there and tell people this is what you got to do and have this type of mentality, I'm still learning those things. So those are helpful for me. That's the whole reason we started doing the podcast, the informational videos like this, Todd's Tips and Numbers, is for people to see somebody who's made it and somebody who's trying to make it. So that's
one of the things you can do is you can tell people that the advice that I'm giving, which we say this all the time.
Yeah.
But the advice that I'm giving you is the advice that I always give you. And I say, just hang in there. Just hang in there.
And it is
Keep
difficult.
doing it.
It is difficult sometimes because especially with the times that we're in right now, it seems like things are even more slow and the grind is even harder.
Mm-hmm.
But hopefully someday that will make it that much more worth it. So, and that's what I'm sticking in for.
Yeah.
So,
and I think, not to get too far off the beaten path, but I think if I remember right, and correct me if I'm wrong, either now or in our numbers portion, but I think maybe you have a direct email marketing new client that's coming up, right? This Monday for a session.
I won't spoil it for our numbers segment because I'll put that in there. But I did something that I haven't done yet. It's a first for me. So that's going to be part of our numbers segment. You can find that in our next video. So thanks again, Dad, for taking the time to do the Todd's Tip. I know I appreciate it. And it's always good to get reminders. So on to the numbers. Did you like that video? Check out more from the original Father-Son voiceover podcast right over here. Or subscribe to our channel right here.